Hello everyone, Marcus here. Welcome to Tesla Simplified. Today we're going to talk about the top 11 questions that newcomers have to owning a Tesla. So how long do the batteries last? Well, the batteries last between 300 and 500,000 miles. It obviously can vary depending on how you take care of your battery. So it's crucial to find out how you're supposed to take care of your battery, and that way you will get the longest life out of it. Now, 300,000 miles is at least twice as much as you would get from a regular car. So battery electric vehicles just last a lot longer. Gas cars can usually go up to 150,000 miles before they start giving you major problems, and most people don't want to deal with it. Question number 2, how do I charge? If you have a garage or a parking spot, you can charge at home, of course. That's the best way to do it, the cheapest way to do it. And you just charge overnight. You just come home, plug it in, and overnight you have a full charge. How do I physically charge? Is all you do is you press the button on the charger itself. The charger door in the car will open up, and you just plug it in. That's pretty much it. It's that simple. There's not much to it. On your app, you just choose how much you want to charge overnight. They tell you not to charge to 100% every day, so I usually charge to about 90 or 85, depending. In the winter, I usually charge the battery to 90. In the summer, I charge it to 80, 85. Question number 3, how far can I drive? Can I go on a trip? So for a long range Model Y, which is what I have, the car is rated for 330 miles when it's new. But obviously you can't drive that far. You can't drive from 100 to 0. So with 330 EPA miles of range, you will get about 220 miles if you subtract the degradation, the buffer. Obviously you want to be between 10% and 90%, and you subtract a little bit for winter driving or rain or windy conditions. You're getting about 220 miles. So 220 miles is about 4 hours of driving, and it's about the distance between New York City and Washington, D.C. So that's after the first when you wake up in the morning and you have a full charge, you can drive 4 hours. After that, if you need to go further, you'll stop at a supercharger, and from there you're only getting about 3 hours of driving time until you have to charge again. I will make a video on more in-depth going into this a little bit more. Number 4, what happens if I run out of juice? If you run out of electricity, you weren't paying attention, because the car will warn you a million times before you run out. And it'll tell you if you set the navigation to the destination, the car will tell you you can or cannot get there. And if you can't get there, the car will route you through a supercharger so you can charge and make it to your destination. So you shouldn't run out of juice. But what happens if you do? So if you go to 0%, you still have probably about 10 or 20 miles after the car gets to 0. So you still have a big buffer below 0. So you should be able to get to a charger by then, because the car is warning you that you're running low. If you do run out of juice, and you really can't get to a charger, or something happens, you have to get the car towed. And the car, you can't just tow it in any tow truck. It has to be a flatbed tow truck because of the electric motor. If the car's wheels are spinning on the ground while getting pulled, it'll damage the car. So that's it for that. Number 5, does it drive like a gas car? So the Tesla can drive like a test car, like a gas car. You just have to set it up in the settings. It can feel like a gas car, but that's not the best way to drive a Tesla. You should set it up with one pedal driving, which is when you accelerate and then you want to decelerate, you simply pull your foot off the accelerator, and the car will slow down. And if you take your foot completely off of the accelerator, the car will come to a complete stop. Um, but you can set it up for it to creep up like a regular car. If you take your foot off the brakes, the Tesla will roll forward like a regular car. You can set it up like a gas car. Yes, you can. Where do I fix the number 6 would be, where do I fix it if it breaks? Well, Tesla has service centers all over the US, Canada, and other places in the world, but they're everywhere. But they're not as many service centers as they are, let's say, Ford dealers and Toyota dealers and things like that. They are building them as we speak, but so for most people, it's close enough to bring it to a service center if it breaks. Tesla also has mobile vans that will go to you if it's something that can be fixed right on your driveway. They don't do that everywhere. I feel like in big cities they don't do that. I'm in New York, and I haven't seen a van anywhere. Obviously, it's probably much harder to fix a car and more dangerous to fix a car if the car is parked on the street. So, number 7, do the batteries catch on fire? So, electric cars are actually less likely to catch on fire than gas cars. I've seen in my life, I've seen just on the side of the road, I've seen quite a few cars on fire. Some of them pretty scary. So the batteries are not likely to catch on fire, even if there is an accident. It's still not likely to catch on fire. Again, there's been uh, gas cars on fire a lot more than electric cars on fire. So there was a problem with the Bolt and other cars that caught fire, but obviously the batteries were faulty, and and they were fixed. Well, they're in the process of fixing them. They're replacing the batteries, but that has not happened. The faulty batteries did not happen to Teslas. There have been cases of fire, but they're usually catastrophic accidents, and it's not a known defect. So no, it's they don't normally catch on fire, and you are less likely to be in a fire in an electric car than you are in a gas car. Question number 8: is it safe in a crash? Yes, Teslas are some of the safest car on the road today. Question number 9: does it drive itself? It seems like it drives itself, but it doesn't. The car will keep itself in the lane. It will speed up and slow down on a highway if the person in front of you speeds up or slows down, and it will come to a complete stop if the person in front of you stops. It it isn't perfect. Sometimes it'll hit the brake a little hard, and sometimes it'll take take its time in picking up speed. So it isn't perfect, but it is getting better every day. I've only had my car for a year, and it's already gotten better. And that is the what I'm describing now is the very basic called autopilot. That's what you get for free when you include it in the price of the car. After that, you can pay $15,000 today and get the full self-driving package, or you can pay $6,000 today and get enhanced autopilot. Now, it's kind of too long for this video, but I will be making a video on detailed information on these systems. So the answer is no, it does not drive itself at the moment, but it's close to doing it. Question number 10 is, it looks complicated. I'm not computer savvy. Well, you don't have to be computer savvy. It's only complicated in the beginning. Just like everything else, in time, it'll be absolutely fine, and um, you'll just get used to it. It's really not complicated at all. And for the last question, number 11, the big screen looks distracting, and it isn't distracting. It. I guess I can see why people think that, because it's this bright thing next to you, but it doesn't have to be bright. You can lower the brightness. It auto adjusts to the brightness of the surroundings, and you can do what I do. I leave it in night mode, so it's always dark, and I just love it. The huge um, navigation right there all the time is really useful, and you'll see that it's not distracting. You just have to try it out. So that's it for the video. Thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe. I'll see you next time.